Hi, I'm Patrick, and today I'm going to show you what essentials you need to take for a long motorcycle trip. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is what we're going to be sleeping in. So what I've opted for is something that's nice and compact and budget friendly. So I've opted for the Gellert Scout 2-man tent. It's sizable enough for me and my kit. It compacts down to this little bag here, which is 50 centimeters by 10 by 10. So it is really nice and squashed down. And it only costs £17.50, which is a bargain. Next up is what I'll be sleeping in. So I have opted for the Gellert Hibernate 400 DL. It's a slightly heavier sleeping bag. It's for season 3 to 4, which allows you to go down to about 0 degrees Celsius without frost. I opted for this one. It's easier to cool yourself down than it is to warm yourself up on those cold nights. So having a heavier sleeping bag is beneficial. And with it being a heavier sleeping bag, it also allows me to go out and go camping in those colder months as well. So it's a bit of a more user-friendly thing all year round. It's a bit of a monster. It's 2.2 kilos, and that's about as squashed as I can get it. So you're looking with the rest of the gear here, it's quite a sizable item to be putting on your biker's luggage. You can go with a thinner, lighter sleeping bags, but that often creeps up in price to keep the same sort of heat level. So just be mindful about that. That one cost me £24.99. Sometimes I feel a bit funny about sleeping in the sleeping bag. The material gets on my nerves a little bit. So I've opted for the sleeping bag liner as well. It's 100% cotton, so you just stick that in the side of your sleeping bag. It gives you a little bit more warmth, and it just feels like you're in a proper bed as opposed to a sleeping bag. On the subject of sleeping, I have also opted for a self-inflating mat. I would like to have a little bit more comfort when I'm out and about in the tent. So it's a self-inflating mat, and it gives you that little cushion of comfort, and also as well it adds a protective layer between yourself and the ground, so you don't lose too much heat, which is also a bonus. So we're nearly at the end of that now. So this is my pillow. Looks a bit strange, I know, but bear with me. It is a dry bag that we roll out here, add a bit of air to it, roll that up, and you've got yourself a nice little air pillow there. It's good for carrying stuff in as well. If you've got a little extra bits and pieces in there, I would carry perhaps toiletries or something else like that you would dig out anyway for when you stop and camp. To make this a little bit more comfy, just chuck a t-shirt over it as a liner, so you've got a nice cotton feel pillow there, which is really handy. Now this next one, I don't have it here because when I dug it out to record, it was all ripped to pieces, so I've just chucked it away. But it's a tarpaulin. It's got tons of uses to be in a ground sheet or a rain cover, or wrapping any of your items if you don't have waterproof bags. It's a nice, cheap and easy way to waterproof your stuff while you're traveling. So that is all my camping gear. So I have my tent, and I have my sleeping bag, camper mat, liner and pillow, which all fit into that dry bag over there. Once they're all packed up, I bungee the dry bag to the tent bag, so I've got everything in one place, which is nice and easy. Now, of course, you're probably wondering where is the stove and the camping chair and various other bits and pieces. I feel like I don't need to take those because the trips that I tend to do will be near local shops, and it's just one less thing to carry. You can, by all means, add as much as you like to your setup, but this here, we're showing you just the core elements that we take on our trips. Okay, so clothing. Now you can see that it's very wet and miserable here in Leicester. It's sleeting, so you can probably see that firing at me on the camera. We're going to look at clothing now. So my clothing on your trips, you will I would assume you would have your helmet, your jacket, and all the rest of your motorbike gear with you, because you'll be wearing that getting to your destination. Also, I tend to carry some extra bits. So in this bag here, I am not going to get it out because it is absolutely sopping wet. It's my thermal base layer in there. So that's a nice thin layer that you put on. If you know that you wake up in the morning, you feel that wind chill and you think that's going to bite you on your next leg of your trip, it's really nice to just chuck those on either underneath your clothing or even over your clothing. It doesn't really matter, just to provide that extra layer, and you will feel the benefit of that. So I highly recommend those. Also in there is my waterproof set. So they are an over jacket and over trousers set. So if it does start to chuck it down whilst you're riding, you can quickly pull over and then just chuck those on top of your motorcycle clothing already if it isn't waterproof, which mine isn't. I have leather jacket and jeans, and they do tend to soak up the water exceptionally well, so those are really handy to have. So in terms of rough cost on these, on the thermal base layer, you're probably looking about £20 for a set of a top and long johns, and for the waterproofs, you could find yourself a bargain, but I paid about £50 for a set, which were actually on sale, so I felt that was a quite reasonable price. And just a final note as well, your waterproofs also act as an extra warmth layer as well. So if it gets particularly cold, you've got your thermal base layer on, you've got your clothing, you've got your biker gear, and then it starts to rain, you chuck on your waterproofs, you're that little bit warmer, and it cuts out a lot of the wind as well, which is really, really nice when you're up against the elements. Okay, so the next thing on our list is probably the most important thing you'll probably need on your motorcycle trip. That is water. Always carry a water bottle with you, or a water bladder, preferably with some water in it. And that's it. Okay, so now we move on to more of the bike-centric stuff. So in front of me here, we have a toolkit. So this carries all my spanners, any Allen keys or torque keys. There's a knife in here, and there's a Leatherman, and also here you can see we have a couple of rolls of tape, which is always super handy to get yourself out of a tricky spot. Now in that bag you don't have to carry every single ring spanner size or every single Allen key that comes in a set. Just pack the ones that are critical to your motorcycle, so the ones that will fit your motorcycle, and if you're feeling generous, anybody else's who you're traveling with. But that is just a core toolkit that will get you out of trouble in a pinch. This is a tyre plug kit. There's a lot of these on the market. There's some that carry CO2 canisters, some don't. Mine doesn't. This is the one I have. It's the Gadlane tyre plug kit. I got this from the mighty Amazon for, it was £13.99p. What it does have has a set of gloves and all the tools and the plugs you need in there to fix a puncture on your tubeless tyre. I have to emphasize that one because this is just for tubeless tyres. One last point on the tyre plug kit, you get 20 plugs in there, so you'll have plenty for your trip if you are particularly unlucky. Because this is for tubeless, you can help out your friends that are with you on the trip if you're feeling charitable, or you can help out a fellow biker on your travels if you find one that's stuck. It's killing my knees in the pissing sleet. Please, please, please like and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up to date with us on our weekly videos. It's just a finger click for you guys, but it really does mean the world to us. So please, please, please subscribe and tell us how much you like us. Okay, so we are down to the personal effects, so your toiletries and any extras for your personal use. Apart from the necessities like your toothbrush, toothpaste, shower gel, moisturizer, cleanser, mud packs, whatever you decide to bring, this is what I carry. So first off, we have a first aid kit. Now in here You can get these from any shop. You can get them from Amazon. You can pick them up pretty much anywhere. We've got loads of bandages, loads of plasters. There's an eye wash kit in here, and some alcohol wipes for cleaning up cuts and grazes and things like that. I've also added some painkillers in there, some paracetamol, and some things that are a little bit stronger for if the need arises. Along with that, we carry, and I've put them in here for some reason, wet wipes. Wet wipes will soon be your best friend on your trip. As a father, these are the Swiss Army tool of cleaning up stuff. So they're really nice and handy. So they could be used for self-hygiene. So you find yourself, if you're doing a bit of wild camping, you don't have access to shower facilities or anything like that, grab a few of these and then wipe your particulars so you're fresh enough for the day, and that gets you out of that spot quite quickly. Also really good for cleaning your helmet, cleaning your visor, and cleaning the inner material of your helmet as well. These are designed to moisturize and be gentle on babies. So these are really useful for doing that without causing too much damage or any sort of hazing that you might get with other wipes on your visor in particular. They're also good for wiping down your motorcycle clothing, whether it be your waterproofs, your leathers, your boots even. Again, because they're just nice and easy throwaway wipes, it's really handy to have something like that with you. You will learn to love these. I'll put them back in here for continuity purposes.
Oh, that was so sweet. Thank you, Patrick.
Next bit is my towel. So contrary to my last point, if you do find yourself in a place that has shower facilities or anything else like that, you can get these bad boys. And what these are, they are a microfiber towel, which folds out to the size of a full bath sheet, which is quite large, and it's really effective at drying, really quick at drying out once you finish with it, and it folds up nicely in this little pouch here. It doesn't cost very much. They can cost between 10 to 20 pounds depending on where you buy from, but those are super handy, and it just gives you that little feel of home when you're out and about, of having a nice big towel around you. So really good stuff. Okay, so last on our list is something that I always pack wherever I'm going, whether it's an overnighter or a 2-week long trip, and it is this, and it has to stay in here because of the rubbish weather, and it is the toilet roll. Now you ask, why a toilet roll when we've got loads of wet wipes here? Well, this harks back to a time where I used to travel a lot for work with my dad, and having 1 or 2 of these in your bag always meant safety. So you could get yourself out of a tricky situation if you end up in a services and there's no paper, or anything that could have a use for a toilet roll. It's always handy to have. So get 1 of these, or maybe 2, depending on how you feel. And finally, what does it all go in? Well, I've mentioned that bag over there before. So that is a 25 litre dry bag that's made out of nylon. That's where all my sleeping stuff goes. And then pretty much everything else, apart from my tent, goes in this bag. This is a 44 litre dry bag, but it's made out of a thicker material. It's a PVC material. So it's a little bit more heavy duty. So you can have some things that are a bit more pointy and jaggedy in there, and it's pretty safe. And that is pretty much the extent of what I carry over the motorcycle trip. So this will be roughly packed out to the brim, would do you 2 weeks quite comfortably. So that's quite handy. And you can see in terms of scale of this bag against the bike, it's not too cumbersome, it's not too big. I won't be carrying a rucksack on there because I have everything in here, and it will fit on the bike quite easily. So to recap, we have our two-man tent, we have our sleeping bag and all the luxuries that go with it. So my camping mat and my sleeping bag liner and my pillow. That all goes into that dry bag over there. Here we have all my extra clothing, which is my thermal base layer and my waterproofs, which will be at the top of my bag here. So I'll have everything else, all my toolkit and all the bits that are left in this bag, along with my clothes that I will take for the duration of my trip. I'm quite fussy with having clean clothes, so I will pack as much as I can in there. It might be a pain, it might not. It depends entirely on how you like to pack for going away for a few days or weeks. Once this is all packed up, we have to put it onto the bike, which brings me over to these bits over here. So what you see here is we have some ratchet straps and we have some bungee cords and some cargo netting. Now, it's entirely up to you how you secure things to your bike. I would recommend that you have a go and move things around. You know, does a ratchet strap work better here, or does a bungee work better here? It's so you feel most secure about the load that's on the back of your bike for when you're traveling. Of course, people can use or own panniers, which are really, really handy. But for me, I feel like the panniers ruin the look of the bike on this one, and it's also a cost issue. I mean, you know, getting panniers isn't something that I'm particularly interested in, so I won't be spending the money on it. So that is pretty much it. So that was what to pack for a long motorcycle trip. I hope you found that useful and informative. During this year, 2021, Andrea and myself are going to be traveling across Europe to Italy, covering France, Germany and Austria, doing a total of about 2,600 miles round trip. We want you to be there to share in our adventures. So please like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit that bell button, and let us know in the comments below if you would have packed anything else or would have done things differently. Let us know. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.